Hello and welcome to another episode of FPL Expectations with me, Craig. Game week 35. Oh my God, I can't believe it, right? Within a few weeks, we're not going to be having this anymore. Well, until the rest of the summer's over. But yeah, that's how close to the season we are. And it is the run-in. And as I did say a few weeks ago, this is possibly one of the most exciting times in Fantasy Premier League. I'm actually really enjoying it. Usually at this stage of the season, it's like, you're worried about your rank and this, but there's still so much to play for, especially with that big double game week we have coming next week. And it's all about building towards that. And I can never do this alone. Obviously, I bring in the experts. And with me today, we have FPL Nitro from all the way down under. What's going on, man?
Hello, Craig. Thank you for having me back on. Yes, as you said, the run-in, we have a few more game weeks left, and it's getting very exciting. But yeah, excited to talk about FPL.
Yeah, it is. It's an exciting time for everyone. You yourself, you're right at the top of the pile, well away from any of us. Well away from me anyway. Still in the top K, still battling hard to stay in there and improve your rank. I mean, this stage of the season, it's all about kind of safeguarding the rank, or is it about attacking that higher rank?
I think there's a bit of a balance of both because prior to this couple of game weeks, there's definitely been a drop. I think I dropped almost to like 17K, which is still a pretty good rank, but we were at a really stellar position. So now the moves kind of have a bit of, okay, I need to kind of protect it, but I also need to find opportunities to attack. And also at the end of the season, we want to have a little bit of fun, right, with the remaining game weeks.
Do we though?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all good. I'm glad someone like you's up there. You worked hard for it. But let's get straight into it. We've got less than an hour till the deadline. So if you haven't made your transfers, we want to attack that news all straight ahead and all these tips that Nitro has, not me. But first we got to review game week 34. And yeah, Nitro, tell us how your game week 34 went.
Yeah, it was okay. I believe it. Oh, this is Chris's team. My bad. We're just looking at Chris.
Okay.
Oh, man. I was so confused. Wait, what's this happening? Okay, we're at 72 points. Took a hit last week to bring in Alonso and Mount, and what a hit that paid off. Alonso, the star of the show.
Wow, massive
19 points. Absolutely amazing. I think he got a goal and a couple of an assist and clean sheet. So Alonso, big differential. Well. Absolutely. Dubravka, Trent, easy things. Saka doing very, very well. Really thankful for him. And Weghorst, who would have thought? Weghorst with his assist, I believe, right? So good stuff there. Mount Captain was kind of hoping for more, but it is what it is. We will have to take that, and yeah, that is the team. I was sitting at about 7K ish, like mid 7K, and then we jumped up to 6.9K overall. Pretty good rank, pretty happy, but now it's just kind of getting, figuring out what we got to do for the final remainder of the season.
Well, yeah, I mean, we can't, talk about 35 without talking about 36, which we'll come on to a little bit later. But I mean, really good. I mean, there is a bit of a worry about Saka going into 35. Just want to see how you're seeing that. Is he a transfer that you need to make? Is it one that you're just keeping an eye out on? And obviously, with the strike force, with Weghorst, is he going to be a permanent stay in that attack? And yeah, I can't see your bench, but how's that looking heading towards 36?
Yeah, so if we're looking at the team now, you touched on Weghorst. I think Weghorst is not a bad hold for this game week. He plays Watford at away, and I think the departure of Dyche, he's actually picked up some pretty okay numbers. So if you're not looking to sell him just yet, if he's not like a pending fire, I wouldn't mind holding him. I say that, but I've kind of gotten rid of him. Unfortunately, if I didn't have to, I wouldn't. But he has been booted on my team. We talked about Saka. I think he's okay. I think I saw something that implied that he was okay. So he is
I think there were
definitely a
pictures of
hold.
him in training, wasn't there? And I think
I think
Arteta
so.
said,
Yeah,
he
I think
should be
so.
fine.
Yeah, I think he should be fine as well, especially with Arsenal's double. I would definitely hold until we get any sort of concrete stuff. But other than that, he's not a the flag looks really intimidating, but I think just hold and be patient. Should be fine.
Fantastic. All right, let's go straight into 35 and talk about chip strategy and players to target. Now, like I said, it's all the transfers we make in 35 are, is it safe to say that we're building towards, that 36 game week?
Yeah, it is definitely. I think for me at least, that was definitely the case because I don't have a wild card. I don't have the luxury of a wild card. So if you have a wild card, this is definitely the game week you want to play it. But I think you knew that by now. But there are a lot of players you should be targeting. We have some doubles, juicy doubles in 36, like City, Liverpool,
Oh, sorry.
Chelsea. We even fancy. I would even say the Villa double is pretty okay, but these are some of the players you want to target. And if you have a free hit, well, you don't really have to worry too much. You can just free hit in 37. For me, I don't have the wild card, so I've taken a hit, and I will be probably taking a hit or two next game week, and then activating my bench boost for 36. If you don't mind, I'm going to go straight into the team right now for
Yeah.
35.
Let's go to it. Let's go to it.
Yeah, so I've already made my 2 transfers. I've taken a hit. Oh, you can't see it here, but I've taken a hit. I've brought in Laporte and Mateta on the bench. You're probably wondering why Mateta. He's probably not the best pick, and I totally get it because he's subject to rotation. But it's because Laporte's a little bit expensive, so I needed to free up a little bit.
Needed to raise the funds.
Yeah. I also don't mind his Watford fixture in 36. Like I said, we're kind of looking at 36 because I'm playing a bench boost. I'm trying to milk as many points as possible. So if he gets to play against a Watford team, I'm not too upset against that. If he gets any return, that would be absolutely miraculous. But we'll take like a 4-pointer. That would, I'm sorry, like a 2-pointer, 3-pointer, whatever. We'll take that. But that's the team right now. Ramsdale in goal. We got the Liverpool boys, Alonso and Mount, Chelsea boys. Madison is the kicker here because I'm pretty sure he'll get rotated. I've still started him. The Tottenham game doesn't look very good either, fixture wise. He's
Yeah.
just kind of there because of the fixtures in 36, of course. But we'll see how that plays out. I know Coutinho is a very, very hot property heading into this game week, and he's a very popular transfer out. And I've been tempted. I'm not gonna lie, Craig. I've been tempted, but I'm standing my ground as of right now. It could change, but I'm standing my ground right now. And then everything else is the same. Armband on Kane. And yeah, that's the team heading into 35.
Well, yeah, I mean, you talk about importance in that team. You've got literally less than 15 minutes to make that decision whether you're going to bring Ollie Watkins into your team. But it's one of those where, I mean, do you want to sacrifice Kane for that? I know Watkins obviously has a tasty fixture. There's no doubt about it. But just reading through some stats online, and Kane's record against Leicester is pretty tasty as well. So.
Yeah.
It's one of those, and Norwich aren't exactly the whipping boys that we saw early on in the season either. So, and Villa not in a great run of form. Well, you never know where this goes. Okay, but, I mean, that's your team. You're captaining Kane ahead of Salah. That's really interesting. That's something I wanted to touch on as well. Obviously, I've never been a fan of captaining early game week players. But what's tipping you towards Kane and not Salah? Is it the rotation risk, or is it just that Newcastle are a much better team compared to what they were at the start of the season?
Yeah, so you brought up some really good points. This could change, but I would say I'm 80% on Kane at the moment, which is a pretty strong percentage. Couple reasons why. Number one, Spurs, I believe they had a bit of a rest and they are up against a Leicester team who have been playing a lot of games in a short span of time, so they're going to be heavily rotated. I've seen that Spurs could have trouble breaking down Leicester because they're probably going to sit back. But I really think Spurs are going to try and bring as much as they can, especially in this game. They're going to face two of the stronger teams in 36, so they really want to get as many points as they can to try and stay in it. Salah, I don't think there's no worry. He's still one of the best captain options out there. I just think Newcastle defensively they've looked better. They are up against Liverpool, and Liverpool are tough, but I think they will still struggle a little bit. Remember, it is Newcastle away, so we could see, a pretty low scoring match. I say this famous last words, and I also think the moment Liverpool have a significant lead, Salah will be taken off. I think they're going to want to rest him ahead of. I think they have a pretty busy schedule coming up, so that's kind of the rationale behind why the armband is on Kane at the moment. But yeah, I do feel a little bit unsettling moving it away from Salah, especially against Newcastle. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, definitely. I mean, it's one of those where I've looked at Kane's obviously up there in terms of captaincy options. But I was watching Net the Hall and the boys yesterday, and KDB is right up there on their captaincy metric. Really high up on that. Which brings me nicely to chip strategy. Probably not so much chip strategy, but players to target for game week 35. And the question mark right now is, okay, number one, does Salah start? Does he get taken off early? What's the situation now? They've got a pretty good, strong, backup to, the Salah, Mane, and Jota or Firmino, or whether you want to say, you've got Diaz coming into it, who's, equally, performed really well every time he's played. But the other one that I want to touch on is obviously City and Pep Roulette. Now, KDB, he's almost certain to start, according to most sites and most people who really look into Pep's rotation. And to a certain degree, can City afford to rotate? I mean, I know Pep's famous for it, but can he afford putting out a weaker side? I mean, that's the main question. What are your thoughts on the Pep Roulette first and City assets?
Yeah, City assets, I think, are arguably one of the better options out there. I think when you talked about the metric, all about FPL metric as well, has put KDB the clear captaincy pick. And it really hurt me because I don't have KDB. And if I had KDB, I would 100% be putting the armband on him. Sterling is another one, which I firmly believe is someone who's a great pick. I know Joe had Sterling last week when we chatted about FPL on the show, and he was very, very unlucky for City. I mean, Jesus bagged 4 goals, I think. Oh my goodness,
4 goals, yeah.
And it's
one
of
those. The only good thing about that is absolutely no one had him.
Yeah, exactly. So, oh my goodness. I mean, when you look at a score like that and you own Sterling, you must be like, oh, if only it was Sterling on one of those goals, you'd be so happy. But yeah, I really feel for Joe, and I really think he should start and captain him this game week because I think there's a high chance of him starting, obviously, because he didn't play the last game. KDB should be nailed. You have your Cancelo and your Laporte, which should be close to 100% nailed. Other than that, everyone else is up in the air. City have such a strong squad. They rotate because they kind of can. They have that squad depth. But some of those players who are integral, like Cancelo, goalkeeper Ederson, Laporte, and KDB as well. These are guys who are a little bit less susceptible to rotation. But at the end of the day, it's City, right? So I think that's kind of what I feel about the City assets, at least. What was the other part of the question?
Yeah, City assets and Pep Roulette. I think you did cover them, but let's go a little bit more in depth in terms of City assets. Obviously, KDB you mentioned is almost a certainty to start. I can't believe you left Foden out of that chat. You talked, you did so much about City, and you didn't mention Phil Foden. Yeah, go on. Foden, I think, is a popular shout. A lot of people on Twitter and the forums are saying he's almost certain to start as well. Where do you see that?
Yeah, I'm not against Foden as well. I completely forgot. I think KDB and Sterling kind of stole the show on that one. But if you have Foden, 100% look to try and play him. Yeah, but he's definitely, I would say, not as safe as Sterling. I can't say Sterling. Not as safe as KDB at this point in time. But I think he should start this game as well.
But how do you? Okay, in terms like when you talk about transfers now, right? How do you? Sorry, got a little experience, yeah. But when you talk about a transfers coming in, are we already looking forward to the next game week? So when you talk about the likes of Sterling, if you bring him in for one game week, and then there's every chance that he doesn't play next week, which is ultimately a big one.
Yeah, that is the tough one right there. So I think if you have Sterling, you kind of need to just firm it a little bit. That's why the
Mm.
ideal world is you have KDB because I think he should start, right? Whether he plays the full 90, I'm not sure, but he should at least play a predominant amount of the game.
Yeah.
If you still have Sterling, I think it's still a hold unless you can upgrade the KDB and not maybe take too many hits for it. But
Yeah.
that's definitely team dependent. And with Foden, right, that gets even more interesting because I think he's more susceptible to rotation. And I think it could be tough. It could be very tough to bring him in now, only to see him maybe play one of the two matches in 36. So, um, yeah, it's definitely tough. My recommendation is KDB. Like, I feel like in the attack, he's the safest. And if you're in doubt, like me, with the attack and you can't afford KDB without like dismantling your team, I think it's just a defense. You have your Cancelo, and then you have like a Laporte, which should be fine enough.
Yeah. Just touching on Foden, just having a look at his minutes. He didn't play a single minute last week. Obviously, played against Real Madrid, scored. So, I mean, if we're looking at that, possibly
Mhm.
Foden plays. I don't know. I'm just looking at the most cost effective. I mean, I think KDB is obviously a premium. And I think getting to him for most of our viewers and everyone out there might be a little tougher. So,
Yeah,
if I, I think Foden's worth a gamble, and I can't see Pep not playing much of him, with the title run in and everything. So yeah, I think you gone off. You gone on mute there, Nitro.
sorry, I was just talking to
I thought you
my
accidentally pressed
apologies.
it. Nah,
All
so
right,
I was just saying about Foden. I think he's one of those with City, obviously fighting on two fronts, and can't afford and they can't afford to slip up more or less. I think it's every chance that the likes of KDB play. Cancelo I think has to play because Walker's out. Um, what's his name? Foden plays because he didn't play last week. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I think there will always be those. I think people like you could see Jesus getting rested, for example, this week because he's Foden going up front. You can see Sterling, Grealish on the wings. Probably Gundogan starts instead of Silva, maybe. So you can get away with it, but they do have that big fixture next week in the Champions League. So yeah, something to
yeah,
watch out for. Premium if you can afford it, definitely get KDB in and captain him. That's the big shout. That's where I'm seeing everywhere. KDB is the man to captain this week. If you can't get to him, I guess the next best is Sterling, possibly if you want to go cheaper, Foden, but obviously risk with both of them. All right, that's fantastic. Any other players? We talked a lot about City. You mentioned Coutinho just now and Watkins. Big players to bring in this week. Norwich, and then they have a double-double.
yeah. I've seen a lot about Coutinho and Watkins. I even pitched Coutinho on my All About FPL series transfer trends because he's been a player that's been kind of quiet in the last couple of game weeks, and but we've seen in the past historically when he faces teams in the bottom 10, he does have a tendency to go big and quite to some distance. So, um, they're playing Norwich, right? And then
Yeah.
they got the double. So you can kind of see it as a pretty good, short term. It's kind of weird to use the word long term, but it is 3 game weeks, right? So that short term kind of vision, he's a pretty good buy. Watkins, you mentioned as well, he's pretty good as well, given how limited amount of forward options we have. So I would bring in Watkins as well. Or if you have him, definitely hold. I have Ramsey. He's like the third option there, and he's been kind of quiet as well. Not ideal. Definitely go for Coutinho if you can. And then Cash, Matty Cash is also another option that a lot of
Manny
people bring.
Cash, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not against it. I think he's pretty good. I think Norwich concede a lot on the wing that he plays on, which is the left,
Right.
the
No,
right. Sorry,
right
whatever
Villa.
whatever flank that Cash plays on. Apparently, Norwich concede quite a lot, and then
Okay.
of course we have that double. So Cash would be good as well. Cheaper side on the defense, cheaper, and then yeah, those are some of the players from Villa. I think we can go for. I think I saw somewhere else as well under Gerard. Cash has picked up quite a few attacking returns, a little
Yeah,
bit more. So he's kind of flourishing in that attacking wingback role. So if you've got him, definitely play him. If you don't have him and you're looking for a defender around 5 million, he's a pretty good option as well.
great stuff. And anyone else that we've missed? Any Arsenal ashes? I like the matchup with West Ham. I think they might play a similar. I mean, I say weaker side. I mean, they did quite well last week with a supposedly weakened side against Chelsea, didn't they? Do you expect the same this week?
You raise a really good point. It is away, so anything can happen. Arsenal,
Yeah,
unpredictable, but I really think Arsenal are going to try to bring their best. And I think West Ham are without any of their main center backs or main like prominent defenders, so that's a big gap in their defense. I really think Arsenal's going to try and bounce off of their confidence they've had recently and try to go at it. So, I mean, I am an Arsenal fan. I'm hoping they win, but I think I could see Arsenal assets get their returns from here. So definitely look to attack some of them as well. I think Nketiah is a very popular name that's been thrown
yeah.
around. I think he gets to start again. I know
Okay.
Lacazette's back in the mix, and it's kind of hard to judge, but
He played really well last week against United as well. I thought obviously
he
was
did. He played
unlucky
very
to get his
well.
goal disallowed, and it ended up being a penalty. So Saka got all the
Yeah,
got all the
shout out
points for
to-
that one. It's ridiculous. But I think there would have been a few people that would have brought Nketiah in, obviously after the Chelsea performance.
Chelsea game.
Yeah, and they would have come away from last week thinking, "Have I not got any points here?" But there were a lot of positives to take out of that for Nketiah owners. So I think if you're looking for that budget forward as well, just not sure about what the situation is with Lacazette, and does at some point does Lacazette come into it? But I did read an article with Arteta, and he said, he felt bad for not giving Nketiah more minutes. He felt he deserved it,
Yeah.
and he kind of took the blame on himself. So whether we see that, because I know Nketiah's contract's up as well, isn't it, this summer?
Yeah.
As is
Yeah.
Lacazette's.
Yeah.
So it's I think they'd be more happy to have Nketiah than Lacazette, is the feeling that I'm getting, being a local boy and being young. So they might give him minutes from now till the end of the season, and if he continues scoring, why not?
He's spoken very highly of Nketiah, so I mean that could imply that he gets more. And I also think that you mentioned he's a good budget option. So 5.5, he enables a lot of other people. He's very low risk. So if he does get benched out, he's 5.5, right? You haven't really lost too much per se. Whereas if you had like an 8 mil forward who doesn't start, that's gonna hurt you a little bit because you spent more and he's not playing. So he's a low risk. If you need funds, Nketiah is the way to go. I would have brought him in if I didn't have 3 Arsenal players already. I have Ben White, Ramsdale, and Saka. So I'm a little gutted, but you got to work with it somehow.
Okay. And obviously, we're going to come to the most obvious thing, chip strategy. You did mention if you have a wild card, this week is the perfect time to play it. But, and I say a but here, they have over the last few days, all the fixtures till the end of the season have been confirmed. And there are some tasty fixtures towards the end of the season, and I know we're fast approaching that. But with the double game week in mind, obviously everyone's setting up the teams for 36. What about playing a wild card in 37 for those 2 game weeks?
Yeah, I think with the announcement of City's double in 36 instead of 37, it really threw a lot of us off, at least myself, because I think a lot of us who were pre-hitting in 37 were hoping the double would be then. Now we're trying to weave in some City players, and it's not a lot of time, so we don't have that flexibility with a free hit. If you have a wild card, like you said, 35 would be where to go, because then you set yourself up very nicely for a bench boost in 36. I'm more for bench boosting in 36 because it's a bigger double game week. Every single team is playing. So if you even have a few single game week players, there's no like rush to get them out. Whereas you have that blank for United in 37, and you have fewer doubles. So I think the free hit still works better there. There is an argument for free hitting in 38, If you somehow have a team that's pretty well set for 37, but
Yeah.
I think it just kind of makes sense. There are more doubles in 37, so you kind of want to target them, and that's how you do it. You use your free hit, and I think a majority of people are going to be free hitting in 37, so I think it's kind of dangerous not to. So if you can, most definitely free hit in 37.
Okay, perfect. Is there anything you want to add in terms of players to target? Obviously, chip strategy, bench boost 36. I think that's a given. I think everyone's well aware of what they need to do if they still hold their bench boost chip. Any players to target that we're missing for this week?
To target, I think a big question is after this game week, what to do with Spurs. And
Mm,
especially people who have like really tripled up on Spurs. I'm quite lucky because I only have Kane. Their double in 36, to be honest, isn't the nicest. I guess the Arsenal game is the only one that we can kind of bank on for returns.
yeah, yeah.
Something to remember though is they do play Burnley and Norwich after, and those are some of the better fixtures. So that's why, despite how ugly 36 looks, I'm kind of willing to long it out with Kane all the way to the end because of those fixtures alone.
But then
And
you
we
would
know,
say, sorry to interrupt, but you would say like with, if you have Son or Kane, you still fancy them to score even if it's against Liverpool.
yeah, that's true. That's a good point. And I think in the reverse fixtures, Son got a few returns as well. If we go back a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
because
sure in the
I think the
reverse.
way Conte would set them up would be similar to how we did against City, which would just be counter attack, wouldn't it? And I think it suits
Yeah,
players like Kane and Son especially, and Kulusevski or Mora, whoever it is that plays alongside them. So I mean,
yeah,
it's not a tasty fixture. Don't get me wrong, but can I see the Spurs scoring a goal? Yeah, I think I can. And yeah, I mean, I would if you have them. I don't think it's worth a transfer out that personally, and especially with those two,
yeah,
37 and 38 games. I mean, why would you? I mean,
definitely.
the,
It
the, the
has
plus
been
points,
tempting though.
yeah, because the plus points are that they double in 36 and they both start in 36.
Yeah,
There's no danger of them getting rotated, and that's essentially what you want. And obviously, it's a triple bonus if it was a nice green fixtures for both, but you
yeah,
can't always have it your way, right? But you got for the next 5 fixtures, you got 3 really juicy fixtures for if you're a Spurs owner. So yeah, I mean, I would hold if I owned one of them, unless I had to beef up somewhere else.
yep.
Okay, all right. Let's. Any other players you want to suggest for this game week?
For this game week, nothing that really comes to mind entirely. I feel like a lot of it
Yeah,
is kind of looking towards 36, and I feel
yeah.
that most people are already kind of gearing up for the big 36. So, no, nothing that really comes to mind. Am I missing anything? Is there anything we should be
No,
touching on?
I think you've covered all the bases there. We've targeted the main ones, and we haven't spoke much about the double double, but we'll do that later on. Yeah, let's get cracking on it. Less than half an hour to make your substitution, so we'll get cracking on the questions that we have posted. Thank you for everyone that's been tuning in and putting your questions on the side. As always, we leave it to the end of the show or the last segment of the show before we get in touch with everyone. Yeah, and Hadi Ryan. Yeah, replacement for Fraud Werner, or should I just stick because he might be on the bench this game week? I'm in your position as well, Hadi. I went with the Werner pick. I knew it would be a risk, but it was one of those where if it paid off, it paid off, and there weren't a lot of other options in terms of double game week players. So yeah, I went with that punt. It didn't work out, sadly. But yeah, Nick, thoughts? Replace Fraud Werner or stick?
Oh, that's tough. I haven't really looked into news on Werner, so if you're saying he's probably on the bench this game week, it's tough because then he has 36, right? And
Yeah,
36 looks pretty good. Um, if I had a choice though, Hadi, I'm assuming you might have like you definitely have a Chelsea defender or maybe a Mount slash Havertz. If that's the case, you could consider looking elsewhere. Maybe a Watkins, maybe an Nketiah to help free up the funds, because I feel like Watkins, in comparison to Werner, is more likely to be nailed and then probably even outscore given the fixtures. So,
Yeah.
if you asked me, and if this is obviously on the caveat that you have a Chelsea defender and maybe Mount, it should be fine. There's no need to triple up on Chelsea, I think. Then Werner could be worth selling.
Okay. So Watkins is someone that you need to target, Hadi, if you don't have him already. If you can, and if you're still tuning in, just put your team down below and we can revisit this.
Yeah.
Like, it makes it a little bit easier for us to give you some suggestions. Big shout out to Chris Carey for the first time. He's joining FPL Expectation for the first time. He's a South African guy that I work with that's been around for a while, so he's tuning in, and he needs a lot of help, trust me, with his team.
Hello, Chris. Hello.
Eric's Cross rank in terms of start, first bench and second bench. Dennis, Cash, Pookie need to start one of the forwards.
Oh, wait. So he's starting one of them, and then he needs a first and second. Okay. I got it.
Yeah.
All right. I would start Cash and then bench the two forwards. I know that's controversial because I normally back the attacker, but I think I've been told, obviously not entirely sure, but I've been told that if Watford lose this game, the manager could be on the way out, and that could kind of affect Watford for sure.
What, for the final few games?
Hey, man. Hey, they had enough. So, I'm not too sure, but I think Cash against Norwich, that fixture is really good. And like we kind of touched on earlier, it's just kind of pointing to him. So I'm kind of jealous I don't have him. But if I had Cash, I would start him. Between the two forwards,
but he says that he needs to start one of the forwards.
He needs to start. Oh, man. Rank in terms of start, first bench, and second bench. Okay, well, if you really need to start one of the forwards, ooh, that's tough. That is really tough. Ooh, I think I'm gonna go Dennis, because Pookie's not a bad shout either. Oh, Pookie's not bad either. Oh, I think I'll go Dennis because of the fixture. Yeah, I think so. If I had to start one of the forwards, Dennis. I'll say it with chest. We're back at Dennis. That is a tough one though. That is very tough. Rank in terms of start, okay, and then the first and second bench, I guess Cash first bench, and then Pookie second. That's a tough one, Marcus. I may or may not have lost Craig. Okay, so we're sorry, everybody. We kind of lost Craig. I kind of figured because he kind of went quiet for a second, but that's okay. We'll give him a couple seconds.
Sorry for that. Internet problems, technical issues. You know how it is. Really sorry for that, guys. But yeah, we're back. Not too long to the deadline, so let's kind of whiz through this. Yeah, did you get the answer in?
Yeah, so if it's just the forwards, I would probably go Dennis. Otherwise, please try and start Cash out of the three, most likely.
Fantastic. Thoughts on Bench Boost 36 team? Schmeichel, Trent, Robbo, Cancelo, Alonso, Salah. This is 36, yeah?
Yeah.
Salah, Foden, Mount, Saka, Richarlison, Pookie, Bench, Foster, Gordon, Cash, Dennis. I think that's a decent team.
That's a really good team. I think everybody doubles, so that's a bench boost you like.
Everybody doubles. Fantastic. I don't want to go too much into it because that's next week. We worry about bench boost next week. We'll talk about this week. Ashim Bora. I took a -4 hit to get Ramsey and Coutinho for Martinelli and Kulusevski. What do you think? Well, firstly, you've already taken it. So what we think means it doesn't mean anything. But I will say Villa, they do have that double-double. They have a tasty fixture. And as I said, I think getting on Villa assets this week is important.
Yeah, I Coutinho move is great. I think you could have held on Martinelli and Ramsey. I have Ramsey. I hope he does well, but I also don't see him, blowing up as much. So if you've done it, it's not terrible moves, and you just kind of have to firm it for the next double. But yeah, it is what it is.
Okay, we've got quite a few messages from Roger here, so yeah, let's do it one by one. Is Jesus a one-off or informed because Fraudiola? Fraudiola, wow, really?
Guardiola.
Fraudiola, only one of the greatest managers of this generation, but that's okay. Each to their own. Because Fraudiola wants to increase the goal difference. Would it be good to have him in the squad till the end of the season? Okay, first question.
I would say no because of rotation. We've talked about it earlier. I think the ones to go for are the defense, Cancelo, Laporte, and then maybe a KDB if you can. But yeah, that's a good point. He does want to increase the goal difference. So yeah, I wouldn't go for him though, personally.
Okay. Reece James and Alonso, issues with their minutes since Alonso has more. That's a fair point. I think there's not many options at left back for Chelsea. I think they do have Kennedy though that they recalled from loan, but he hasn't played at all. But Reece James to Alonso. You a fan of that?
If you have Reece James, I wouldn't be too itching to sell him just yet, despite how tempting Alonso looks. Because I think James was very unlucky to not get anything against United. So I think hold him. It's such a lateral transfer, which is just I personally feel is not worth, especially if you're taking a hit. So hold for now, and yeah, just you kind of have to ride with what you have. But yeah, whoever got Alonso last week definitely got lucky, myself included.
Okay, Saka or ESR? Who's the better bet?
Saka.
Saka. Saka, yeah.
Yeah, I would go Saka.
And he's on pens as well, so
pens.
Better. Havertz or Mount? Given Havertz has lesser minutes in West Ham and Man United, whereas Mount went all 90 for both. Is he that invincible? What a player he is, Mason Mount. I'm a massive fan of him. But yeah, thoughts?
I would still go Mount because I feel he's more secure. I know Havertz has that ability to be explosive, but despite playing 90, I still see him play at least the majority of the match. He's very integral. He's in a new central role under Tuchel, which kind of allows him to be more influential. So I would still back Mount personally. But if you have Havertz, I would still hold as well.
Okay. Chris Kerry, who are the best budget options for Leicester in the upcoming game week, double game week? Well, there's no double game week here, but if you're talking about 36, there will be quite a few. I think Jacob Ramsey has to come into the equation. I think Dewsbury Hall maybe as well.
Yeah, Dewsbury Hall, 4.4 midfielder. If you're looking for an enabler, I think he's great as well. 4.4 in midfield is crazy cheap. So I think he's definitely.
And he's playing a more advanced role than when he first started out as well.
Yeah.
Politics. He's got a lot more responsibility within that Leicester side.
Yeah, so he's a good pick. Marty as well, but I really think he's more of an enabler. So yeah, go with him at your own peril.
Yeah.
Your own risk.
The thing with Leicester is obviously, Europa Conference, is it? Europa Conference or that one. and how do they rotate between all that? And I think with Dewsbury Hall, it's a bit of a tough one. He's played a lot, but the thing is, the beauty of it is by the time next week comes around, I think the second leg's finished, so we'll know where Leicester stand, and we know how to approach the double game week. So I think that's one to worry about next week, Chris. But I think the obvious ones, if you're looking for budget options for Leicester, would be Dewsbury Hall. Sorry, I said what's his name? I said Jacob Ramsey just now because I didn't see it was Leicester. Yeah, Dewsbury Hall and Marty are probably the only budget ones that you're looking at, really. Yeah. But yeah, thanks for the shout out. You're more than welcome, mate. Look forward to seeing you. You're recovering from COVID, as is Nitro, but he's all the way down under. So get well soon, Chris, and I hope the family gets well soon. And I look forward to seeing you at work next week. Help me, yeah, we're helping. The bumbling expat. Hi from KL. Selamat Hari Raya. Wow. Yes. When you're over here, this part of the world, I don't know if it's the same for you, Nitro, but you almost kind of forget about
I
Hari
forgot.
Raya and forget about fasting. You just think you just approach it as normal days. But yes, Selamat Hari Raya to everyone that's celebrating, that's watching. Wish you and your families all the best for the year to come. I hope the fasting period has been kind to you. Who gets more points in 36, Laporte or Foden? That's the magic question, isn't it? That's the magic question.
Well, I hope it's Laporte because I just brought him in. But
so you're gonna go with Laporte?
Yeah, because I feel like with him being more nailed, there's a higher chance of him even getting those 2 points. That's all we need, right? But Foden could go pretty big, in the attack, especially with City really pushing for that title. So, it's tough. I would still hedge my bets on Laporte. I would think that not Chelsea. City are trying to keep the clean sheets. They don't want to concede to maintain that goal difference. So I would still go Laporte, despite how funny and biased that is.
Yeah, okay. Laporte it is. Joseph Yo, as usual. Gregor, he's so hot right now. Ignore that. I mean, like I said, everyone that's looking at City assets, it's a tough one because it's hard to judge how Guardiola is going to play this. They got a massive match next week in Madrid. They've got, the title race where they can't drop. Liverpool are hot on their heels. But I think that 2-goal cushion allows Guardiola to make some changes for this match this week. But I don't think there'll be too many. And I think, at the back line, I'll probably see maybe one change there. In midfield, maybe about a couple. But I just don't see a mad pet roulette going on here. So I think like your KDBs and your Cancelos, if you have, are all safe. A quick one, bubbling expat. Do you have Laporte and Cancelo, or is it just Laporte? I mean that's important as well. If you're doubling up on City,
that's true.
Do you want to do that? I don't know.
I mean, I've done it. I've done both.
Remember, there's less than 15 minutes to go before the transfer deadline. Make your changes, save your teams, sort your formations, and your bench out. Bench could be very crucial this week. Just a heads up with all this rotation going on. We're almost at the end of the show. If you've got any questions, do put them in now. Nitro and I will be here to kind of help you through it. Remember, not long left. We want to get those transfers sealed up in the next 10 minutes, ideally, before everything goes a bit mad and the kind of system drops. Bumbling Experts replied, I have no City players. I'll get Cancelo next game week. Just deciding between Foden or Laporte. Safest bet. I agree with Nitro. It has to be Laporte, for minutes. But again, you're everyone. I did see the City. Do you know that person that does the City rotation planner?
The rotation thing, right? Yeah, that's what I saw. Yeah. As well.
Yeah, I didn't see Laporte's on that, and I don't know if we've got enough time to try and find it on somewhere.
I did see Laporte on it, and
you did see Laporte.
Part, it was pretty nailed. Yeah, I think.
Yeah. If I had to choose between the two, bubbling expat, it would be Laporte for me. Over Foden, but I think in the coming weeks, like if you're doubling up on City defenses, it restricts you going forward probably a little bit. You can't get to Foden, or you can get to Foden still, but if you want to punt on Jesus, if he continues his form, you just never know. On my computer right now, and I just don't know which one I would enjoy most: Brazilian Coutinho or Jamaican Bailey. Please help. Things are getting rather slippery. I mean, that's a good shot. Leon Bailey. We haven't seen much of him this season, but when he's played, he hasn't been that bad. I think he started the last game up front, didn't he?
I think so, but I agree when you say that he's just kind of remained relatively quiet this season, which is a shame, I guess. I would still go Coutinho, I think, because his stats are pretty good.
Yeah,
when he does play.
Yeah, I think Coutinho is the safe bet, but I was also reading something in terms of minutes. He does get brought off a bit early, doesn't he? Doesn't always complete
Yeah,
the 90 minutes, and that's been
yeah,
happening quite recently. And yeah, I mean, we're putting a lot of faith in Villa, but their format has been great. I mean, to justify all these Villa moves, but we just like the fixtures coming up, and the double obviously works.
yeah.
So yeah, sorry. Back to Joseph. Coutinho is the one that you want to get into your Brazilian nuts. Bumbling expat. That was what I was thinking too. Easy transfer for me since I have Shah and Sice to get rid of in defense, and Havertz, Mount, and Madison in mids. Wow, that's a lot of. Oh, yeah. I think you probably want to keep. I don't think your midfield is that bad. I mean, Madison, if he wants to turn up, he turns up. Mount, you know what you're getting. He could have explosive one week, but he starts, 90% of the Chelsea games. And with Havertz, it's, you got a striker in midfield, essentially. And I don't expect a lot of rotation with Lukaku, to be honest with you.
Hopefully not. And yeah, I think in comparison to Share and size, yeah, I think those guys need to go, especially Newcastle defender personally.
Yeah.
But yeah, the midfield looks good. It actually looks good despite the rotation risk for Madison. I think it's good.
Yeah, I like it. So I'm just doing my team as well right now.
What are your moves?
I can share my team if you'd like.
Yeah,
I've just kind of gone against it, and I've just gone for Foden because I needed to take Sancho out.
Ooh, okay.
So I'll share my team now, actually. Can you see?
It's coming. It's okay. Oh, you got cash?
Yeah, I got cash on my wild card last week. I played the wild card last week. Obviously, had to pick a team which is moving towards the double game week in 36 because I'm going to play my bench boost then. And then obviously trying to have an eye on 37 as well. But yeah, this is what I've got. So I've got Schmeichel in goal, Trent, Cash, Cancelo, James, Havertz, Salah, Ramsey, Foden, who I've just brought in for Sancho, who was very disappointing for me, obviously, over the double game week. But I had to bring in a double game week player, and I maxed out in Chelsea, so I had to be someone from United that I could afford. So it was on a wild card as well, so I didn't take hits or anything like that.
What's the bench?
Say that again. Sorry.
Okay, no, I just wanted to see the bench. That's a good looking bench.
Yeah. So I've got Watkins and Word up front, Meslier, Pookie, Emerson Royale, and Dewsbury Hall on the bench.
Nice. Looks good.
Yeah. Say that again.
Have you made any moves or?
I've just brought in. I had one free transfer. I brought in Foden for Sancho.
Oh, that was this week. Okay.
No, so I literally just done that like a minute ago, just before I shared the team. So yeah,
nice.
I'm not too comfortable with captaining Salah. I've got to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like captaining. Early game week players is number one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is we just don't know what we're going to get from Salah as well. Just get to bumbling expat. Exactly, my kids are doubling and defense have poor fix. Yeah, I was about to say your kids, your mids. A little bit better.
Okay, I thought I was the only one confused.
I was going to say that's a pretty big family you have. Kids are doubling.
I mean, your kids doubling is a pretty big issue as well.
Yeah. But yeah, mids are doubling and defense have poor fix. But yeah, I think you can. I think bringing Laporte in obviously steadies the ship, and yeah, you should be all right with that move really, and then you can fix it in game week 36 with a few hits. Yeah. Any last questions to come in? We've got less than 10 minutes to seal those teams up. Yeah, just go back to this Nitro. I don't know. It's on Salah now, but I don't know if I'm feeling it, to be honest with you.
Well, who else would it be if it wasn't Salah?
Who else would it
Would it
be?
be? Yeah. Who would it be if it wasn't?
Well, this is the thing. I'm thinking either James, Cancelo, or Watkins.
Oh, they're not bad picks. It's just kind of rogue, right? It's just the factor, the risk factor. Oh,
That's it. So, like, I mean, Watkins, I was very tempted to after seeing Net that Hall's captaincy metric.
yeah.
I think Watkins ranked second on that.
Oh,
I mean, De Bruyne was by far the favourite to captain.
yeah.
But I don't know if I can give it to Watkins. I mean, they've not been playing well, and I don't think Norwich is an easy fixture for them. I don't know. I think the Newcastle fixture is tough for Liverpool. Salah probably comes off in the 60th minute, 70th minute. The one thing I will say is that Salah, for some reason, no matter how well Mane does, Salah never seems to get taken off that. And Mane could have an absolute blinder, but he just doesn't get taken off Salah. So,
True.
What do you think? What are you thinking?
Oh, the putting it on Salah gives me a sense of safety, but I can also see the argument for the City players as well because I don't know. I have this bad feeling. Well, that's not a bad feeling. It's a sinking feeling that City are really gonna want to bring it to Leicester. To Leicester to Leeds. So, yeah, I could see the reasoning behind a James or a Foden captaincy, or even
James
Cancelo.
Foden or James and Cancelo? I mean, Foden, I'm not confident he's going to start. I'll be honest with you, but I've got a bigger picture to look at.
Okay.
I think he'll play further on.
Yeah, well, if it helps, the last time City played Leeds at home, they won 7-0. Cancelo didn't play, so that doesn't really help us a lot here.
Cheers for that. That's a great.
Oh, Cancelo captaincy is not a bad option though. Oh. Okay.
Should I go differential? That's the big question,
It's a major differential, but I think if it works out, it pays off.
Cancelo, yeah.
Yeah, Cancelo.
They play late on as well, don't they?
Yeah, I think for me, if you took it off of Salah right now, it would be Cancelo first, I think.
Yeah.
But that's if you take it off Salah. I don't know if I'm ready to take it off Salah just yet.
What's everyone doing? Let me see what Big Andy's doing as well. It's a tough one. Anyone got suggestions? Anyone, if you're still tuning in, let me know what you think as well. It'll be interesting to see what everyone's opinion is. It's on Salah now, but I'm tempted to go with Cancelo or someone.
Yeah, I think on Twitter, a first glance on Twitter, a lot of it is on the Spurs assets. I think just
Hardy Ryan. I'm going for KDB captain. I want to, but I can't afford him. I like it.
Yeah, KDB or
Salah
Spurs.
Which I don't really want to do and take a hit. So that makes no sense to me.
Coutinho captaincy could be pretty good too, but
I'm on Salah too. I'm too afraid not to. That's from Bubbling Expert. I'm on Salah too. I'm too afraid not to. That's the only reason why I'm captaining Salah right now. Why it's on there, because everyone else is doing it. But
yeah,
is this the game week that we take a gamble? Like, I might as well, right? Wait, Andy's captaining Havertz. What's going on there?
Oh.
Let's talk FPL is captaining Havertz. I'm not too sure about that. Hardy Ryan, playing Origi as my second striker and hope he gets a sub in. What are you doing? Where's that come from? Hardy, have you not been listening to us? At no point was Origi mentioned in any of our streams for the whole season. Not even talking about today. Where's that come from?
Oh.
Andy's going Havertz. Damn, don't go Havertz. I've got him.
Oh.
Are we going Puntsville or not? That's the big question. Are we going to Puntsville? Chris messaged me, asked, what about Werner? I'm keeping Werner. Okay, I'm keeping Timo Werner.
Yeah, I wouldn't be against that.
All my money on KDB, got 4.9 million left. Okay, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I don't know. I've never seen it. I've never seen an Origi pick. Timo Werner. Do we do it? Do we keep him? Yeah, I think you keep Timo Werner. That's Chris's question. He just WhatsApped me. I don't know why he's not asked me on there. But I'd like to give a shout out to his son Cameron, who, who's watching us on TV. Doesn't believe that I work with Chris. I actually do work with Chris, but yeah, he hasn't turned up for work this week. So, but I actually do, and he's a great guy, your dad. And I hope all of you are taking care of yourselves as you recover from COVID. So take care. Well, take care, Cameron and Chris. Yeah, take good care of him. Let's see. Oh, are we going to do this? Are we going to do this? He's got habits. Has he changed it? Yeah, he hasn't. He's kept on the habits. Cancelo. Do I do it? What do you think?
Ooh. Oh man, I don't know.
I know.
You are running out of time though, so I think if you make a decision, you gotta do it. Gotta do it soon.
He's changed it to Foden now. He's changed the captaincy to Foden. He's messing with me now. I'm going to go Cancelo. Screw it.
Yes, let's go. Let's go. I'm fully for it. I'm all for it. I wish you nothing but success. I wish you, yes, I wish you nothing but success. I really hope it works out for you. That would be huge.
No, he's gone back to Salah now. He's gone back to Salah.
Oh my goodness.
And he's gone back to Salah right now. Screw it. I'm sticking.
I think you gotta firm it.
Say again? I firmed it.
Yeah, I think he's a good shout. He's a really good pick. Like, I wouldn't be like, oh, what are you doing? It's a good pick.
I'll be coming after you down in Australia if this doesn't work out, mate.
He's sending death threats. Nick told me to captain Cancelo when he got a yellow card.
And what is Andy doing, mate? Oh,
I really hope it works out for you.
And he's just brought Foden in for Havertz. He's confirmed it.
Oh.
So he's brought Foden in. I've just brought Foden in as well, to be fair. But his captaincy's on Salah and he's viced Saka. Interesting. Well, bringing Sancho down to Foden gives me an extra 1.2 million in my bank. Extra 1.1, I think it was, sorry. Because I had 1 point. So I've got 1.2 in the bank for next week. And I can play around with that. But I think that's me locked. I'm locked and ready to go.
Nice.
Yeah, how about Vice Salah? So where we are. Bench is all right. Pookie, Emerson Royale, Dewsbury Hall. Pookie or Royale?
I would still play. I would still play Pookie first. I think back to
Pookie, yeah.
But yeah, that's a good bench.
Okay, let's go. That's me done. Locked.
Nice.
And yeah, wow, I can't believe I'm doing that.
Nice.
What am I doing?
Oh.
Captain to Salah. Yeah, I've been seeing James was seen playing high up position in Champions League. What sort of information can we come up with given his declining form? His form is not declining. He was absolutely fantastic against United. What a player. How he didn't come away with anything is beyond me. But that, in my opinion, the best English right back, Reece James. I think he's better than Trent overall.
He's good.
Let go, indeed. Let's go, Captain Cancelo. Good luck. Thanks for watching Bubbling Expat. Been great to have you on. Craig Origi will score versus Newcastle. Let go. I hope it comes off for you. I mean, if you're playing him, I hope it comes off because, I mean, those are like 4 points which nobody is going to have. And you immediately get like a jump on everyone in like playing FPL or active managers. So if it comes off for you, fair play, you know. And I think that's it. We've reached the deadline. I think Wow, I'm actually captaining Cancelo over Salah. This is gonna be
Let's
interesting.
go. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean that first game is gonna be nail biting for me, absolutely nail biting. But yeah, what have I done? But let's see if it pays off. I mean, if you don't shoot, you don't score, right? And
There
I think
you go. I'm not captaining Salah either, so I'm in the same boat. I'm just hoping he stays relatively quiet for the
who did you
most
captain
part.
in the end? Sorry,
I'm Captain Kane. I still
Kane.
love
Yeah,
Kane.
that's it. Yeah. So yeah, let's see how it goes. I can't say I'm really convinced that Cancelo's going to start either. To be fair, but I think
No, he should
he's
start,
pretty
hopefully.
nailed. He's pretty nailed because there's no right back, right? For
No
City.
right back.
Yeah. So yeah, let's see how it goes. Nick, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you everyone else for tuning in and watching us here on FPL Expectations. It's been a really exciting show. I can't remember the last time we ran it this close to the deadline. I know we've always done one before, but this has been exciting. Ashim says, good luck, everyone. Yep, good luck to you too. Good luck to everyone watching. I hope our information and our tips work out for you. But remember, there is that big double game week next week, and there's going to be a lot to talk about. So we'll try and make it extra special. I think we'll try and get Nitro on, we'll try and get Joe on. Obviously, it's according to their schedules, but we'll see what we can do and to make it that extra bit special because I think, if I'm not mistaken, it will be the biggest double game week we've ever had in FPL history. Am I right, Nitro, in saying that?
I think definitely one of the bigger ones. Yes.
Yeah, so it's exciting and it's going to go all the way to the wire in terms of FPL and the title race. But yeah, exciting week next week for FPL managers. But Nitro, thank you very much for staying up late. I know it is 9
It's actually only 8 p.m. It's fine.
Yeah. 8 p.m. is it? Okay, 8 p.m. it is. So yeah, it's not too bad. So I'm not going to apologize too much since you're isolated and you're not allowed out of your house.
Yeah. Not like I have anywhere to go. So yeah.
Yeah, wish you all the best in climbing the rank and hopefully you get up there this week with your differential captain. And yeah, once again, good luck to everyone. Thank you all for watching and supporting FPL Expectations. If you like the video, do give us a like down below. If you're not subscribed already, do click the subscribe button and follow us on Instagram, Twitter. It's at FPL Expectations. And do follow me. It's at Craig Morais 11. And obviously my mate Nitro at FPL Nitro. Follow us. Keep up to date. And yeah, a big week next week. We'll bring in the big boys for it. Until then, may you all have green arrows for this coming week. See you. Have a great weekend. It's bank holiday weekend. And I think wherever you are in the world, it's going to be a long one. So do enjoy it. Over and out.